Alright guys, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to show you how to cut it, but also we are going to show you the type of tools that we're going to be using for this lovely event. It obviously includes a boning knife, that it has to be a hard boning knife. Steel, we also use a slicer for portioning, and towels. Okay, so we're going to start first by cleaning the fish because it is a little bit dirty. Just grab a towel, go around it, and you're going to be using this towel quite a bit, so don't send it anywhere. So once that it's clean, we're going to look at a little bit of the physiology of the fish, meaning where we're going to start cutting. So you have the tail end on my right. There's a line that crosses the whole fish. Under this line you will have the spine, so that's where you want to do your first cut. Okay, whether you want to do your first cut in here, because this is where you're going to start separating both fillets, so that's where we're going to start. You don't have to start from the right or from the left. Start where you feel comfortable, and also situate yourself comfortably in front of the fish. So here we go. Puncture, and then carefully draw back, making sure that you're touching the bone. You will feel it right away, and then you're done on that side, and then we go to the other side. If you want to be a lefty or a righty, it doesn't really matter. Right away on my left hand side I feel the pin bones, so that's where I'm gonna keep on separating the fillets from. I feel a bone here. We're gonna come back to that in a second, but I just want to make sure that right now I can see the spine. I can literally see the spine from where I'm at, and then I'm starting to separate just slightly the fillet from the top, all the way from one to the other. Okay, so that's good. Now we're going to remove the belly, because we're not going to really use it unless you can use it for stocks or maybe some preparations like paella or things like that. We're going to go up and feeling the bone, keep on cutting until it separates. It will separate on its own, and then you go back the other way. Separate preferably under the gill. And again, this is not waste. This can be used for stock, or this meat can also be used for smaller preparations. Call it a seafood pot pie, for example. So here we go. We're going to start from the tail end. I'm going to puncture again the skin. Remember that the halibut meat, the skin is very tough, so just be mindful and careful. And then you are literally going to just separate it here, and then we're going to start cutting the other side of the fillet. If you see this side, you can see that the fillet meat, you can identify the fillet meat by seeing where the fillet goes through the fish, and how there's a gap in between the fillet and the fins. This gap is the one that we're going to use to be able to separate now the bottom part of the fillet, and then the fillet will pretty much come out completely on its own. So I'm going to do this side first. I'm also going to puncture the same way. Grab your towel, and very, very carefully, very, very slowly, you separate the fillet, well, in between the fillet and the fin. I can literally feel the bones of the fin as I do this, but I'm also, just to be sure that I'm not hurting the fillet, I'm only using the tip. Now notice that at the beginning maybe I was a little bit closer to my hand. Right now I'm not. It's just the safer way to go, obviously. If you wanted to use scissors, you can also use scissors. That is pretty much personal preference. So now that I have this incision done here, I have separated the skin completely from both ends. I am ready to remove the fillet with no resistance whatsoever from the skin, which is extremely tough again, and it should be able to come out quite easily. So we're just gonna make sure that the bone, and that's why you need a hard boning knife, is touching the bones as you remove the fillet. As you pull up, you don't want to be janking on it, right? You just want to be pulling up. Eventually the fillet is going to need a little bit of your help, so just help it out. And as you can see, I have no resistance from the bones, obviously from the skin, because I have removed the skin partially. And then I just have to finish here, removing, like I said, part of the pin bone. And there we go, first fillet. Boom. We're gonna do it the same way the other side.
It's quick. And more. More coming.
So that's how we do it.
It's okay, it's okay.
I'm gonna go without grabbing the fin, but I'm just gonna go really slow so you can see it from that angle too. And you can see even the blade right here protruding out. I am not touching my fillet whatsoever. I am just separating the skin, and the physiology of the fish allows me to do that. Now I'm gonna go the other way around, and as long as you have a nice sharp knife, you should be able to do this no problem. But again, in this case I'm not even putting my fingers in a position where they could be hurt, and I am getting my objective done. So once I'm on the tail again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna separate a little bit of the meat on this end. I'm gonna puncture through, and boom, we're done. So now I'm gonna flip it because I wanna be comfortable. And in this case, we are going to separate the head first. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that there's no bone over here in my way. So that is only done by feel. There we go. And now I already have the skin separated from this side. So the top part is usually easier because you have full access to all the fillet and the bone structure. And that's what we're gonna do. So little by little, I'm gonna start separating it. And again, using only the tip. You don't use anything else but the tip. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right, now we're cooking with gas. All right, here we go. So, again, just follow the bone. And now you can see how nicely it has separated from voila. Second fillet, perfectly cut out, and it's ready to be processed. So now you have both sides completely clean. You're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. You're gonna cut it from the middle, separate both sides. You can do it at the same time, both sides of the skin, and then go ahead and cut it out, making sure that you remove the belly part of it. Okay? So, enjoy.
I will subscribe.